During his lifetime, he was regarded as Crosby's most dangerous rival. He was the greatest British dance band vocalist of the 1930s. Nearly 40 years after his death, he remained something of a cult figure. Today, we remember the swoon of the 30s, Al Bowlly.
Love is the sweetest thing. What else on earth could ever bring such happiness to everything as love's old story? Love is the strangest thing. No song of birds upon the wing shall in our hearts more sweetly sing than love's old story. Whatever hearts may desire, whatever life may send, this is a tale that never will tire. This is the song without end. Love is the strongest thing, the oldest, yet the latest thing. I only hope that fate may bring love's story to you. Love is the sweetest thing.
Al Bowlly and the Ray Noble Band with one of Noble's own compositions, Love is the Sweetest Thing. The mellow sounds of the band and its most famous resident vocalist epitomized the era of the big band romantic ballad, an era long forgotten and indeed probably destroyed by the Second World War. Al Bowlly, although he lacked the range and quality of Crosby's voice, acquired a very large following on both sides of the Atlantic during the 30s. His voice and style belong entirely to the period. His death in London during the Blitz ended a great but short career. A career that does not reflect the changes or adjustments that others such as Crosby were forced to make during the following 40 years. Al Bowlly's style encapsulated the spirit of the 30s.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king, and foolish though it may seem to me, that's everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you. You'll never know how slow the moments go till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love. Just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love.
Albert Allick Bowlly was born on the 17th of January 1898 in Lourenço Marques, Portuguese, East Africa. His father was Greek and his mother Lebanese. Al spent his early years in Johannesburg, working in his brother-in-law's barber shop and teaching himself to play the guitar. Later, he was to open his own shop as a hairdresser, which was to earn him the title of the singing barber. His first break as an entertainer came when he was invited to join Edgar Adeler's Syncopators, significantly not as a vocalist but as a guitarist. This gave him the opportunity to tour South Africa and then India and the Far East. He quit the Adeler group in Java because of a row over his desire to be a singer and not a guitarist. Later in Singapore, he met up with the pianist Moniolita, who was to figure prominently in his later career. He took a job as a jockey, but gave that up to join an American band leader, Jimmy Messene. After a year at the famous Raffles Hotel in Singapore, where his voice was amplified to diners through a megaphone, Al Bowlly at last acquired a reputation as a vocalist. He travelled to Berlin in 1927, where he made his first vocal recordings with various artists, including Arthur Briggs and his Savoy Syncopators Orchestra.
Nothing left for me of days that used to be. They're just a memory among my souvenirs. Some letters tied with blue, a photograph or two. I see a loan from you among my souvenirs. A few more tokens rest within my treasure chest, and though they do their best to give me consolation, I count them all apart, and as the teardrops start, I find a broken heart among my souvenirs.
The recordings Al made in Berlin attracted the attention of the Spanish-American band leader Fred Elizalde, who was at the time playing at the Savoy in London. Al was invited over to join the band as vocalist. Although the band topped the Melody Makers Readers' poll, the engagement at the Savoy didn't last long because the management thought that the Elizalde band played too much of that jazz. Elizalde, refusing to change his style to that of a palm court type orchestra, decided to quit and headed off for a tour of Scottish music halls. Al found himself suddenly out of a job. From singing to the cream of society at the plush Savoy Hotel, he went to busking in the streets of London.
Once in khaki suits, why gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly down. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was a kid with a drum. Say, don't you remember, they called me Al. Why, it was Al all the time. Why, don't you remember, I'm your pal, buddy. Can you spare a dime?
The street singing must have come as a terrible blow to someone whose future at the Savoy seemed so well assured. But a chance meeting with the drummer Bill Harty gave Al a badly needed break. The American band leader Roy Fox was forming a dance band for the soon-to-be-opened Monseigneur Restaurant and was looking for a vocalist. Al got the job, and the Roy Fox Band opened at the Monseigneur on May the 27th, 1931. It was an immediate success. Weekly Tuesday night broadcasts over the BBC followed, and Al Bowlly's name soon began to be known all over Britain and the continent. Roy Fox obtained a musical directorship with the Decca Record Company, and the band began recording regularly.
If I didn't have you, each hour a day for me. If I didn't have you, what would I live for? Tell me, what would I do if I didn't have you? No moon would beam for me when the shadows would fall. There'd be no dream for me in the nightingale's call. This lovely world would mean just nothing at all if I didn't have you. The Roy Fox Band became one of the most popular in the country, and by the close of 1932 it had recorded over 130 sides, all of them arranged by the pianist Lou Stone,
and all but a mere handful featuring vocals by Al Bowlly. Other bandsmen were quick to appreciate his talents, and Al found himself in great demand in the recording studios, singing with all kinds of combinations.
Pressman, here's some news. You can print it if you choose, just to prove the times have changed a lot. Though it may sound strange to you, it is absolutely true. You can believe it or not. Since making whoopee became all the rage, it's even got to the Albert cage. My canary has circles under his eyes. I thought he'd never do anything wrong. Now he does snake hips the whole day long. My canary has circles under his eyes. His only pals are the yellow lark, just a tiny sparrow. But I'm afraid when he's in the park, he leaves the straight and narrow. I've raised this bird in a manner so strict, yet I've a feeling I'm being tricked, 'cause my canary has circles under his eyes.
Around this time, Al branched into films with appearances in A Night Like This and The Mayor's Nest, which starred Claude Hulbert. He also made a couple of Pathé pictorials. One where he sang My Melancholy Baby was made on the top of the Pathé building in Water Street, London. In late 1932, Roy Fox was forced to leave the band through illness, and pianist Lou Stone took over as musical director. Lou and Al had come to know each other very well and to understand and appreciate each other's method of interpreting different types of songs. Lou believed that a vocalist should have a solo spot in an arrangement. So Al's voice wove in and out of a song like an instrument in the band. Many experts consider that his best work was done with the Lou Stone Band. Albert McCarthy, in his book The Dance Band Era, even goes as far as to say that their work, quote, summarizes all that is best of the popular music of the 30s.
that's the way. If love must have its day, then as it came, let it go. Oh, no remorse, no regret. We should part exactly as we met. Just easy come, easy go. We never dreamt of romantic dangers, but now that it ends, let's be friends and not two strangers. Easy come, easy go. Here we are, so darling, au revoir. It's easy come, easy go.
Easy Come, Easy Go is a good example of Al Bowlly's warm and intimate style. He's singing wistfully about an imminent parting from a loved one, and he really sounds as if he means every word. In contrast, What a Little Moonlight Can Do demonstrates the bounce and drive that Lou Stone and Al Bowlly could achieve.
Will not utter the word. Kitty Willy Willy, I love you. Ooh, what little moonlight can do. Wait a while till the little moonbeams comes peeping through. You'll get bored, you can't resist her, and all you'll say when you have kissed her is, ooh, that's what little moonlight can do.
Al Bowlly's other great musical partnership was with Ray Noble's orchestra. Ray led one of the sweetest bands of all time, but it wasn't really his. The musicians were actually members of other leading London orchestras who would assemble in a studio for a recording session, then return to their regular units. At first he recorded under the name The New Mayfair Dance Orchestra, but it was changed to Ray Noble and his orchestra in December 1932. His star-studded lineup included Nat Ganella, Max Goldberg, Freddie Gardner, Harry Jacobson, Norman Payne, and Al Bowlly.
Nothing but love in you. Then if you fall once and for all, I'll see my dreams come true. Moments to spare for someone you care for, one love affair or two. With time on my hands and you in my arms and love in my heart, all for you. Time on my hands and you in my arms and love in my heart, all for you.
None of the early New Mayfair Dance Orchestra recordings bore Al Bowlly's name on the label, but the public was quick to appreciate his easy style. He had a gift for phrasing, a respect for a lyric, and very accurate intonation. He could sing anything.
I do is dream of you the whole night through. With the dawn, I still go on and dream of you. You're every thought, you're everything, you're every song I ever sing. Summer, winter, autumn, and spring, and with them more than 24 hours a day. They'd be spent in sweet content, dreaming away. When skies are gray, when skies are blue, morning, noon, and night unto, all I do the whole day through is dream of you.
Mayfair Dance Orchestra recordings became hits in America. This created a demand for personal appearances, and so it was that Ray Noble sailed for New York in the autumn of 1934. He took with him the drummer, Bill Harty, who also acted as manager, and of course, Al Bowlly. Glenn Miller had formed a band for him. Aside from Miller himself, its members included such great names as Charlie Spivak, Pee Wee Irwin, Claude Thornhill, and Bud Freeman. After Ray had sorted out his difficulties with the American Musicians Union, the band was engaged to play in New York's swankiest spot, the Rainbow Room on the top of the RCA building in Radio City. They made several recordings in New York for Victor, and although not as well recorded as the English pressings, they did offer something that the earlier recordings lacked: good jazz musicians with arrangements from the incomparable Glenn Miller.
Touch of your lips upon my brow, your lips that are cool and sweet, such tenderness lies in their soft caress. My heart forgets to beat. The touch of your hand upon my head, the love in your eyes, the shine, and now at last the moment divine, the touch of your lips on mine.
The Ray Noble American band never achieved the popularity or same quality of performance or sound as the old Mayfair Orchestra. One very interesting reason given for the difference in sound quality was the type of microphone that was used. The recordings in London were made with the old non-directional carbon mic. Musicians and vocalists had all to be an equal distance from the mic, which had a limited response to high frequencies, but was superb on the middle and low frequencies, which just happened to highlight the mellow tones of Al Bowlly's style. The New York recordings were made using the directional crystal mic, which emphasized the high and very low frequencies. Even so, Al's soft, intimate and persuasive way of crooning still came across, especially in the ballads.
Yours truly is truly yours. If you could read my eyes, I know you'd realize I try so hard to make an impression. These tender words of love are the start of my heart's confession. Yours truly is truly yours. Beneath the moon and sun, you are the only one. My heart's unruly. You know that I'm yours truly. Are you truly mine?
When Al decided to return to England at the beginning of 1937, Ray Noble lost his most distinctive trademark. The band shortly after disbanded and Ray travelled west to Hollywood. Back in England, Al formed his own orchestra with his talented pianist brother Mish included in the lineup. He branched into vaudeville, and Al Bowlly's Rhythm Makers opened at the Empire in Birmingham in March 1937. They then toured England, Ireland and Scotland. Unfortunately, the venture didn't prove to be commercially successful. Al's long absence from England hadn't helped. His throat began to trouble him, and when his voice finally gave out, he found it necessary to go back to the States for a delicate throat operation. He returned to London early in 1938 and began accepting engagements again. The throat operation had been a complete success. Indeed, the magazine Melody Maker assured its readers it has enriched the quality of his voice most noticeably. Al recorded and made personal appearances with the newly reformed Lou Stone Band and, in 1938, recorded his last side with them, the great hit of the day, Penny Serenade.
My love song for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade.
Once I strayed neath the window of a lovely senorita, and she smiled while I softly played my penny serenade. See, 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 you can hear it for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade. In her eyes shone the tender dawn of love and sweet surrender. As for me, in my heart I played a lover's serenade. See, 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 hear my love song for a penny. See, 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 just a penny serenade. For that night so divine, she was mine, though no word had been spoken. When I woke from my dream, she was gone, and my poor heart was broken. Still I pray that wherever she may be, she will remember in her heart. She will always hear my penny serenade.
See, 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 that's my love song for a penny.
See, 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 just a penny serenade.
Another side that Al Bowlly made with the Lou Stone Band was a very haunting ballad called Moonlight on the Highway. As you perhaps realise, we're not playing the original recordings. These are all LPs that have been collected by devotees to the art of Al Bowlly. And this particular album was put together by Cliff Harvey. He searched for this song, Moonlight on the Highway, for 15 years before he got a copy of it.
Moonlight on the highway, a plain. Turn your light on my way through memory lane. Moonlight on the highway, guide me while I roam. Shine upon each byway that leads me to home. A place where roses remember and folks forget me not. What else is worth dreaming of? From your silver skyway, smiling up above, the moonlight on the highway, please lead me to love.
Throughout 1939, Al continued to record with several big bands, including Geraldo, Ken Snakehips Johnson, and Morris Winnick. In the early part of the war, Winnick departed from his sweetest music this side of heaven character to record this song with Al for the folks back home.
A big department store, there's a girl whose heart sings a song. She had word to say, he's on his way, and now it won't be long. There's a boy coming home on leave. There's a girl wants him home on leave. She'll meet him right at the station, and will she tell all the nation? There's a boy coming home on leave, and his heart won't be on his sleeve. They'll have a grand celebration when he comes home on leave. And as they meet, he'll tell her how he's missed her. That's after he's kissed her. And then they'll talk about that wedding morning. They'll plan a honeymoon, the army can't wait till June. There's a boy coming home on leave. He'll enjoy coming home on leave. They'll make it 10 days of heaven when he comes home on leave.
In 1940, Al went into partnership with Jimmy Messene, another guitarist-vocalist of Greek extraction. They billed themselves as the radio stars with two guitars, playing variety engagements and entertaining troops. They made only a few recordings together, including Only Forever, made in December 1940. This was one of the last 4 recordings that Bowlly ever made.
I
want to be with you as the years come and go, only forever, if you care to know. Would I grant all your wishes and be proud of the task, only forever, if someone should ask, how long would it take me to be near if you beckon? I'll find I would figure less than a second. Do you think I'll remember how you look when you smile? Only forever, that's putting it mild. We're gonna sing for you refrain number 2, direct from Crosby, we give it to you. So if you feel like joining in, come on you folks, just whistle or sing. Do I want to be with you as the years come and go, only forever, if you care to know. Would I grant all your wishes and be proud of the task, only forever, if someone should ask, how long would it take me to be near if you beckoned? I'll find I would figure less than a second. Do you think I'll remember how you look when you smile? Only forever, that's putting it mild.
In early April 1941, Al made his very last recordings. Nicky the Greek Has Gone and When That Man Is Dead and Gone. They were sadly prophetic titles, for on April the 17th, just 2 weeks later, a German landmine exploded outside his London flat, killing him instantly. The memory of Al Bowlly is still very much alive through such organisations as the Al Bowlly Appreciation Society and the worldwide Al Bowlly Circle. Here in Australia, too, there are some very keen collectors. During his relatively short career, he recorded about 1,100 tracks. But avid collectors are still uncovering more even today. It's fitting that we close this tribute to Al Bowlly with one of the most famous recordings of all time, a Ray Noble composition recorded in 1931. It became a signature tune for Ray Noble and Al Bowlly, and then went on to become known universally as the song to signify the final dance of the evening, one that's used to this very day.